Good evening and welcome again to another of our Transformation Tuesday series. And today we have Andrew Madden, who is the CEO of Prodigy Systems Ltd. And Andrew, we are very happy to have you on the program today. Welcome.
Thank you, Marcia.
All right,
Yeah.
awesome. So I have to share again, folks, as I always share with you, that Andrew is in coaching with me. So I'm his coach, and I'm extremely proud of the progress that he has made. So Andrew, we this series is about real people, real results, and especially because we're hoping to inspire business owners, entrepreneurs out there who are still struggling through the pandemic, and we wanted to share what real people, real business owners like yourselves have been doing. But before that, I want you to explain to everybody, first of all, just tell us a bit about your business. What is Prodigy and what do you do?
Okay. Thanks, Marcia. So Prodigy. So to tell you, let's go back in time a little bit.
Mhm.
um, well, let's not use dates, but do you remember, Marcia, floppy disks?
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So we're going back in that era. We won't use any dates, but let's go back to floppy disks. So coming out of school, working with my dad, in his accounting firm. From then, I saw the power of technology.
Mhm.
He was always a pioneer and, um, brave enough to take up new things that were out. And he invested early in IT equipment. So, he started off with a computer with MS-DOS and um, had the program Pro, Microsoft Word. It's at that time it was just MS Word, I
Mhm.
believe the name was. And I saw the power of that. With the assistants and the secretaries who would use the that program compared to the others who were using the typewriters in the office. It was always
Wow.
always everybody as a competition wanted to get on the computer because I mean then you make a mistake, you're going back to wipe it out on the typewriter. And you remember that using it your whiteout?
Oh, trust me, I do remember. You're talking about
Yes,
years going back? Yes.
years back. Right. But then the other assistant would be on the typewriter. If there was a mistake, it's just backspace. You just do a correction and bam, you're printing again. And so that to the other person was like, I mean, how can you do that? It's heresy. I mean, this is what kind of magic is this? But it really was that, in the early days, in it was such a difference between having that technology and we saw the benefits from that, moving from MS Word, he got an accounting package and that brought him so much business because he was able to deliver things in a faster pace,
Mhm.
more efficiently. And so a lot of his customers and new customers, would tell other customers about it and he would get more customers because he could deliver, faster and more efficiently. So I saw the power of that and said, wow, this is a area I'm interested in. But, it didn't seem like an area I would be going down because I was actually in training to take over the firm
Mhm.
and had been studying at that time, doing my first year of ACCA and successfully passed and, ready to move on when here comes a friend from high school days and he wanted to start a technology business.
Mhm.
Sometimes these things just, I don't know, the Lord just bring things to you. Um, and so, he was interested in me partnering with him simply because he knew me from school days and I was always the business person selling computer games, selling. We're going back in the days now, they're going to date us, but these are the days now of Atari and
Oh my gosh.
and Commodore 64, one of the first gaming computers. And
Oh my.
we used to selling all of these products,
Mhm.
games at school when I shouldn't be,
Mhm.
but uh, but those were the days. So we started that partnership and started a company called Gadgets Limited.
Oh,
And,
okay.
we went out there helping customers. I remember one of our biggest projects was this paperless solution that we offered to a doctor's office. And so we saved them a lot of money. They were actually going to build an entire room just to store
Mhm.
their files, the medical files. And by
Wow.
us coming in with this paperless solution, they were able to
When was
save
that,
them.
Andrew?
Oh,
What
this
year?
was years ago. This was maybe 2004.
Well, many more doctors still need to learn about being paperless because there's
Yeah,
still tons of paper around.
there is, and this customer is still using it today, successfully
Okay.
using that same solution.
Awesome.
So yes, it really was. Um, so that started the journey. No, that company didn't end so well.
Mm-hmm.
The partnership, we had to separate. We didn't have the same visions, some a lot of the things you teach us today. We didn't put in the foundation properly. We were young, coming out of school, just have this big dream and not really structuring it properly. And so, a lot of things went wrong. And so we separated, both still in technology, but went our separate ways. Um, but that gave rise now to me and just married. So Amanda and I now started, yes, started Prodigy Systems.
Mm-hmm.
And there the journey began. So that company, from early on, I had a vision to say, look, I want to help other customers and clients because, also when I was at my father's firm, I used to go out and do auditing or accounting at clients. A lot of the clients do, and a lot of them were challenged, were afraid of the technology. They don't want to invest in
Mm-hmm.
in computers, or some of them wanted to invest but just didn't have the right support or to get it at an affordable price point. So it was just more the bigger firms that you would find investing in it. And so, from then at the beginning of Prodigy, I said, no, I want to go out there and help companies, assist them in adopting the technology and, being able to leverage it. And so that was our vision from then. And so we started first with mainly what we call today managed services. It wasn't called then that,
Mm-hmm.
but simply this was just IT outsourcing, just providing being their IT department. So these are small and medium-sized businesses who are
Mm-hmm.
um, not necessarily in a position to have a full-time technician or an entire IT department. So we would be it, and we would do everything for them, from as basic mass as cleaning the computers and the mouse
Mm-hmm.
to the high-end technologies, whether we're setting up cloud solutions, we're doing virtualization, you're talking about setting up websites, point of sale systems, backup and disaster recovery systems, you name it, whatever it is, we pretty much do, over time. We didn't start everything at once, but over time we pretty much cover everything in IT solutions, further on getting into PBX systems and areas such as that. But
Mm-hmm.
the real value is coming from that need that I saw, from as early back as working with my father as providing the support and the consultancy. And so that's the real value that most of our customers appreciate us for is when we have our quarterly meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And in those meetings, half of it is really getting through the nitty gritty of, yes, what computers broke down during the period, um, how long your servers were up, all of those stats and analysis. But more importantly is we sit and try to understand the pain points of the business,
Mm-hmm.
not whether or not it's directly or they see it as directly related to IT, but we wanted to hear about the business and then see how we can use technology to assist them. And in many cases, companies have been surprised how we found, technology to solve those issues.
And I
So
like the word that you use is to solve, Andrew, because
yes,
the approach you're using is where, we always say prescription before diagnosis is malpractice. And so while you were talking, I reached for my pen and stuff to write down some notes because when you started earlier, you were talking about, creating efficiency, improving productivity.
yes,
Persons who are on here would have heard me saying so often that millions of people woke up this morning with problems and desires and needs that your products or services solve.
Yes.
And so, what entrepreneurs need to be looking at is what is the problem or need that is out there. And as you described your journey, you were looking at, as you went along, all this paper, you need to become paperless. You need to be looking at how can you do things more efficiently. So even though you were trained and you were looking at accounting and auditing, you recognized, as many entrepreneurs do, I see a need, but then the second thing is that you're willing to take the risks, you know?
Mhm.
So you and Amanda went out and you started this business. And so I loved the approach you just used, which is because you were there to add value, you start off with, just what are your problems? What are the challenges that you have? Because you know within Prodigy that you have a suite of products that once packaged to meet the demands and needs of our client, you structure a solution for them.
Absolutely.
So who is your ideal customer? All right, not just the ideal. Let me ask you. There are different services that you offer, Andrew. So I
Yes.
want you to talk about that target market. So as people are listening to us, every person listening today, an entrepreneur, every business has to embrace technology. I keep saying to people, I have all them fancy phone here and nothing happening with it. All you're doing is WhatsApping and Facebooking people and looking on YouTube and TikTok or whatever. But the power of it, and I keep saying to people, as you know, Andrew, that probably what we have on these phones is more than the technology that was on the first shuttle to the moon,
Yes.
in terms of what of the power that you have in your hand.
Very true.
And so every business needs to harness this. So, Andros, talk to us about the products that you offer and who is your ideal customer for them so that people listening can say, okay, yes, this is something that I may need in my business.
Yes,
Yes,
sure.
sure.
So
So
for
for
the,
the
I'm hearing an echo.
No, you're good.
I'm good. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So for, let's start with the managed services. So for the IT outsourcing, that is more focused on the small to medium sized business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Not that we can't manage the larger ones, because we do have a few larger ones. And when we say larger, small to medium size, we're looking on, we do as anywhere from 2 computers, whatever support you need, right? All the way up to, or large, maybe about 300 computers. Now, um, but our sweet spot is maybe between 20, two to about 100. And those customers, naturally, because they're usually the smaller companies who really looking for technology to get that competitive advantage, and they can't afford a full IT department for themselves because it's costly. Some of them will try it and they may get one technician, but the difference is when you get that single technician, he's usually not an expert in all the areas of IT. He may be good at desktop and servers, but not good at PBX and web development. He may be good at IT security, but not good on servers. And so when you come to a company like Prodigy, you're getting one contract, but you're getting the benefit of the entire team. So you're getting all the expertise right across the board. So whatever month or quarter that we're looking on a particular issue, we have the expertise behind it to fit. And so that's for our managed services. Outside of that, we have, IT security, which fits any space. So most of our larger companies, we have the large firewall systems, you name it, and our systems encompass everything. So it's not just antivirus anymore. It's talking about having Wi-Fi security. You lifted up your phone a while ago. That's a computer. There's so much threats that can come through your phone and come on your network. You have your emails on there that also can come back over the network and affect you. There, people don't realize too, even a network printer,
Mm-hmm.
hackers now are coming through printers to attack your network. It was just on the news up to this morning that we need to be aware of ransomware. It's Christmas time, and this is
Mm-hmm.
when they're going to be coming up more. So we do even training and things like that on phishing, what to look for. when these phishing
Absolutely.
emails come out. So, the IT security is for any size company. We have our point of sale system that we do right across the Caribbean. So it's not
Mhm,
just Jamaican of any size. We have certain verticals that we're stronger in other retail
mhm,
stores or clothing stores, the pharmacies, supermarkets, hardware stores.
mhm,
That the point of sale system is directed more to them,
mhm.
but of any size.
Yes, yes.
And the PBX solutions as well, any size business.
Mhm,
So pretty much, we can handle small and medium um, and large companies.
mhm.
But our focus, which our core service, which is the managed services, is more designed for the small to medium.
All right. So, we always say, that one of the ways to leverage in your business is through systems and technology. And,
Yes,
folks, we say that a successful business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that can
enterprise.
run. So, systems and technology power your business, and people use and run those systems. But there is also a very important thing too, is that, and I want to come back to that whole thing about improving your efficiency and productivity and security, because all these things will cost you business
Mhm,
if you don't do it. So people don't recognize that efficiency that you get from using technology reduces the cost within your business. And so, in many ways, it may be costing you so much in terms of all the manual things that you're doing, that systems can help with and technology can help with. So it improves efficiency. You heard Andrew talk about doing things way more efficiently and productively, because those things cost you on the bottom line. But Andrew, you spoke about ransomware, you spoke about that threat. And I remember I had a client where, because one of their team members was accessing external platforms on the company computer, he exposed the entire business to hackers who hacked the business and locked down everything. And in the end, they had to pay
mhm,
to have it reopened. So it's very important, folks, that we have that kind of security within. People say we don't want to pay for it, can't be bothered, or we don't understand. But, Andrew, I'm going to share your information here, because this is so important that we understand the threats to our business and also look at how technology and systems can help us become more way efficient and productive. So you can contact Andrew. His information is there, his website and email. And you remember what Andrew said he does first? He assesses. So that they're going to come in first, his team, and just try to understand your environment first and what your challenges are, and then they'll structure solutions. And by the way, folks, that's the approach to sales. So everybody listening to me are entrepreneurs. Do not go in there and push any single product. You're going in to understand your client's business. Now, Andrew, just like everybody else, you would have been impacted by COVID. So we're
oh, for
now
sure.
close to almost 2 years. This is becoming the new norm. So, Andrew, tell us, what was the impact of COVID on your business?
Wow, so many areas, but let's focus on two. Cash flow would have been the major impact on our business. And I laugh because I saw it coming, and we were proactive and went to one of our banks, and we were talking to them to say, I want to see what offerings they have, just in case, just to put some things in place.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, no man, you're an IT company, you're going to boom now. Everybody is going to come to your company. So you don't need to put anything. And I had to say, yes, but we don't fix other IT companies. We
Mm-hmm.
fix uh, regular companies out there who have challenges.
Yes, yes,
So, and so said, so done. It's we a lot of our projects um had stalled because people were in a wait and see mode, especially when it just started. In that, they don't know if they want to maybe put in something new into their business. They want to focus on just the core things to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
Just buying products and selling. It may be not as efficient, but we just want to stay alive. So, yes, your products sound great, but the offerings are great, but let's shelve them, and that's a good thing. We didn't lose any business per se. Most things just delayed,
Mm-hmm.
for some time. But that in itself caused a cash flow challenge. And
Mm-hmm.
then naturally with the lockdowns and everything, so then projects even took longer than they normally would. So what would take a month sometimes moved to 2 months to 3 months. And that's still happening right to today. Now things are opening back up. We're doing a lot more projects, but now we're suffering from the supply chain issue.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can talk about so many, but there's one product now um, that we have a job is waiting on. That it's been 2 months and it's waiting on one little device. That's the smallest cost of the job, but it can't be finished without that.
Yes,
And when you
yes.
don't finish, then you can't bill. And even after a bill, it's going to take some time after that to collect. So, those cash flow challenges, I would say, is a major,
Mhm.
major issue that has
And
that
what were
affected
some of the
us.
things that you proactively did, Andrew? So every business owner would have been impacted by cash flow, which is a result of sales slowing down, having to make more informed decisions, and you having your accounting background about looking at expenses, etc. But always say, Andrew, we can try and cut costs, and you can cut to a point. But for a business to survive, it can't be just about cutting costs. We also have to be looking at, okay, what else can we do?
Yes.
So, what were some of the things that you had to do recognizing that?
Absolutely. So you're correct. We did go on the cut cost side as much as we can, but there's so much you can do and no more. So we also did things like increase our deposits. So meaning, a lot of our projects will ask for deposits. So we had to increase the percentage to be
Mm-hmm.
able to survive. But more importantly, what we had to do was look and start studying the figures, looking at them closely, watching them on a weekly basis, and get the pattern. So if we knew that receivables was a certain percentage, the way to get what we needed for the month was to increase sales. So we had to go out and market
Absolutely.
and just increase if so to make sure that if it's 40% is the is the target for that month to cover all the expenses, then we need to raise the amount of sales for that month.
Absolutely. So you heard what he said, folks. You can cut to a point, but you have just got to get up, pick up the phone, start calling, going out, marketing your business and selling. You have to sell and market your way out of a crisis. So people who sat down just hoping that things, just keep cutting and cutting, eventually went out of business. What you have to do is make sure that you get your salespeople out there, that you're on the phone, that you're making the calls, that you're looking for the opportunities, that you are ever present. Yes, we had COVID, but you have a phone, you know and there's internet and email and social media, etc. So that's one big thing that I know, Andrew, that you focused on during this period was the sales and the marketing. Very important.
That's
All
right.
right, so we always ask everyone to talk about some mistakes that they made along their journey, because we always want to learn from what mistakes other entrepreneurs made so that we don't have to make them and we can learn from them. So, what one or two mistakes did you make along the way, and how can we learn from those experiences?
Hmm. I get processed so many. There were a
You
lot of
have to.
mistakes. A lot of mistakes. But the main one I would say is not seeking help when you needed it. It's trying to fix things on your own, and not really going out there to get the expert help when needed. That's the main thing I
Mhm.
would say. And so when COVID hit, and we slowed down. I said to the team, we had an emergency meeting, and I met with the team and I said, look, let's use this time to develop ourselves more. Let's look back on whatever courses we can do, whatever self-development. And I was looking at myself, in introspection and saying, we've really wanted to increase the business, for some time to really realize the vision that we have.
Mhm.
And I've been trying many things, and it's always hitting up on another roadblock here and there. And I'm saying, it's time to look on myself. It can't be just the team. It can't be this problem. I need to look on myself. And I said, you know what? I think I really need some leadership help. And you know, it's funny how when you're looking for things, you find it. It's like that RAS as we're learning with coaching from you. Because, in me doing that and looking for that, I'll never forget that morning in the kitchen and just hearing morning time news going and hearing one Marcia would try speaking and telling companies who need to, refocus on their vision and understand how to go through
A crisis.
this crisis. And so that led me to the one-on-one coaching with you. And, that's one of the best things that has happened to us. For me, it's funny, but to me, I think COVID is the best blessing that has happened to this company.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. But, and
Yeah.
folks, I want you to listen to what Andrew said because I got the phone call right after that program. I was on CVM. And when I came off, I got the call, and you came into coaching with us. But the important thing I want you to get from this, folks, is that Andrew recognized that he needed help. There are many of us who need help, and we actually don't raise our hands and we don't ask for it. And the other thing he was willing to do was to invest in that help. And I want to say, Brad Chickles says this all the time, that you can't grow a business that is bigger than your thinking. And so many times we are the lid on our business. Another leadership coach, John Maxwell, says in his 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he says, the lid on your potential as a leader is the lid of your leadership lid. You may want to be as effective as you want. You may want to put in all the effort, which many of us are trying to do. But until we recognize that leadership is influence, and if we want to grow a company, then we have to lead a team. And if you don't know how to lead, you are going to you're going to put a lid on the effectiveness and growth of your business. So your growth is capped by your leadership. And that's one thing that Andrew recognized, and he came straight in and has been a part of our leadership masterminds and coaching. So, Andrew, I really, really want to thank you for sharing that, because it is one of those things that many people are not willing to do. They will say, okay, I want help, but they aren't willing to invest in it. And you were willing to invest, but not only that, you were willing to change, you were willing to learn, change, expand your comfort zone, and try new things. So I really want to thank you for that, Andrew. Any
Thank you.
other mistake that you want to share with us?
Oh, um,
You have 1 more minute to
team.
do so.
Team, not spending enough time with letting the team come up with its true potential.
Mhm.
I spent so much time just taking back things from the team that it affected them both, the team and myself. I wasn't able to look on the bigger picture of the company. um, and for them, they wouldn't grow, you know
Mhm.
so that's another major mistake that I think I made. um, and as Brad always says, no, John Maxwell, if you want to go far, go by yourself. If
No,
you
you
want to go
want to go
fast, go by
fast. Right.
yourself. If you want to go far, you have to go with a team. And so
Absolutely.
I've absolutely recognized that, and so I'm working on that side as well, building
And
a
so
strong team.
you're working on your leadership
Yes.
and your team, because a team needs a leader. And so, really, just working on both. And I've seen you do this, Andrew, and the growth in yourself. So, one last question: what is most inspiring to you today, Andrew?
Oh, for me, family,
Hmm.
family. We have gone through some tough times, some great times during this journey. And so, it's they've always been there for me. From my wife being the rock, and my children really inspired me in achieving all of their goals. Even during COVID, we had to make some tough decisions on schooling, in the sports, in how we do things for them. And it's refreshing. It's to see how we come together as a family to make things work, in planning and executing, and just making things work. So that's my inspiration. I keep a photo of them in front of my office, so when I'm making the decisions, apart from my vision for the business is where I make most of the decisions, and then it has to be aligned with the vision for the family.
Awesome. And so,
Yeah.
one of the things we always need to remember, folks, is that you are not your business. It's your life, and your business is simply a part of your life, but it is to enable you to have that life that you want. And, for many persons, we're building the business so much that we forget the family. And some people end up losing the family. So, always remember what your why is and what your purpose is, and remain true to that. So, Andrew, I really want to thank you for sharing with us today, sharing with us your journey, sharing with us your thoughts. And, folks, please invest in yourself and make sure that you're continuing to market and to sell your company as we move out now. So, yes, we're in COVID, but we're moving to the next stage. The government has made its commitment for growth, and we're going to keep going. Yes, COVID is here, and we're going to have to grow through COVID. So, folks, please to make sure that you are preparing to have a great 2022, and starts first with you preparing yourself as a leader and setting goals. So make sure you sign up for Growth Club, which is coming up on December 8th. We'll put some more information out there. But this is what is going to be important for everyone. You have to set your intention and your goals in order to achieve your vision. So I'll see you on our final broadcast for this year, which is going to be on at the end of November. So take care, folks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.